holidays. Welcome back to the SighSquad podcast.
Merry Christmas, Hanukkah,
Kwanzaa starts in
Kwanzaa,
3 days.
whatever.
What night of it?
It's the second night of Hanukkah. Yeah.
Did you all get your dreidels?
Yeah.
My dreidels,
Yeah,
my
I did not.
I almost actually was
my
gonna
potato
bring dreidels
cakes.
This, but Kwanzaa starts. First day of Kwanzaa is the 26th.
Oh,
Good stuff.
wow. Well,
Isn't it like the Chinese New Year's too?
that's
No,
That's
that's
in,
in
like,
February.
late
Oh,
January.
nice
Oh,
tackle.
bubble.
Oh,
Darn it.
yes, sir.
Well, anyways, so this week's episode is going to be an abridged version of the SighSquad podcast. Due to it being Christmas, it will also be coming out early. That's why you'll see it early. So let's start. So week 16 in the NFL is wrapping up
Yeah.
currently.
Football game.
There's been a lot of different things going on in the
Oh, wow.
week. The Seattle lost its second game in a row, or third game in a row.
San
To
Fran barely this week, too.
yeah, I think it's going to be a great matchup on Sunday. We'll get to that, talking about it in a little bit, and Marshawn Lynch and all that going on. But what other matchups were big this weekend?
The Eagles beat the Cowboys.
Eagles beat the Cowboys.
in a very ugly ball game, but
They ever
you knew that was
played
going to happen.
the AFC.
No, but
Or the
they're
NFC.
gonna win it. There's no way the Eagles are gonna lose to the Cowboys or the Giants. Even though Daniel Jones did throw for 5 touchdowns, he did look really good.
Giants team actually was
Mm-hmm.
Case Keenum played again.
Yeah,
Awesome. Good for
Dwayne
him.
Haskins got hurt.
Didn't AP pass Walter Payton for rushing
Yep.
touchdowns?
Fourth. He's now fourth all time.
And Michael Thomas passed Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walter Payton's in a season. That guy,
Yeah.
he's gonna be a night. If the Vikings have to play the Saints like round 1, he's gonna be a nightmare to try and guard. Like that's such a mismatch. I don't think there's any DB on the Vikings that can cover Michael Thomas.
Definitely
I think there was only a handful in the NFL that could.
True.
Honestly, though, his nickname fits him very well. Can't guard Mike is definitely true.
True.
I mean, I don't even know if the top cornerbacks, shutting down Michael Thomas is probably 6 receptions for 80 yards, to be honest.
And that's still a solid. Like that's a
Yeah.
really good day for a
Yeah.
receiver.
He broke the record.
I know he broke. I know.
Uh-huh.
Marvin Harrison's record.
Yeah,
That's what we
brought
just
up.
That's what
said.
we're talking about. Brendan.
Was
You
it
absolutely
this
missed
week
it.
or the week before that Brady passed Manning for the second all-time touchdown? Because now it's Breeze.
The week before.
Now it's
No, it
Breeze
should have been this
Manning.
week, I think.
I think it was this week.
Yeah, it
Was
would have
it?
been this week because
Okay.
he was one behind him last week when
Yeah.
Breeze broke the record.
Well.
The other big one was the Jets. Steelers game.
Yeah,
Steelers,
Jets
yeah.
beating the Steelers.
Now the Raiders have a legit, they actually have a legit chance to make the playoffs. It's actually a very.
The Raiders?
The Raiders?
Have you seen their chance to make the play? It's actually very
Is it
likely.
the Titans have to lose, the Steelers have to lose.
Yep, I
They-
have it.
they have to win.
The Raiders have to beat the Broncos.
Which
Colts
is-
have to beat the Jaguars. Ravens have to beat the Steelers. Texans have to beat the Titans. And then either the Bears, Patriots, Lions, or Chargers have to win.
Wait,
So this is
shouldn't the
5.
Jaguars have to beat the Colts?
No, I don't know how or why, but the Colts have to beat the Jags for some reason.
That makes no sense.
No, I'm guessing it's because of it's because obviously both the Titans and the Raiders played the Colts, so it comes down to same matchups, how you guys did against likewise opponents. It's just those weird
It just doesn't
tiebreakers.
make sense because the Colts are also in the hunt.
Well, no, Colts are officially out of
Yeah,
it.
they're officially out.
They
It's
are.
just the Raiders, the Titans, and the Steelers
Yeah, the only
are in
the,
it.
the NFC is all the people are in
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
awaiting the
seed order.
seed order, and then whoever can officially clinch the NFCs, which will probably most likely be Philadelphia.
Maybe.
I'm
I
rooting
don't know.
for Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of want to see the Raiders get in. I'm not gonna lie. I'd love to see John Gruden just turn that team around. Their last year in Oakland, that'd be kind of cool. I think.
But if there's any home games, then
Well, there won't be because they'll be the 6th seed.
Oh, that's fair. Never mind.
So
I guess the Titans, I feel like, would be a scary team in the playoffs, to be honest. I think we talked about it before.
Yeah, I think
yeah, the way Ryan
too.
Tannehill was
It'd
playing.
be scary.
Derrick Henry, Ryan
Until
Tannehill,
that last,
AJ.
3 minutes of the Saints game.
They
it
were
was
up.
a 3,
Yeah.
It was a 3-point
And
game.
that was without Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
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 So if the Titans can go one to one with the Saints, who are arguably the best team in the NFL right now,
Yeah. Well, and especially in the AFC, where the AFC is just so wide open at this point.
Yeah.
Well, because let's assume Titans get the 6th seed. Who would they have to play first round?
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Ooh.
No, because
They beat the Chiefs.
They did beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, because it'd be Titans Chiefs,
Mhm.
and then it would be Texans Bills.
That'd be a pretty good game. I don't know. I think Kansas City would actually probably wallop
I
on
feel
Tennessee.
like the Bills might be able to knock off the Texans.
I wouldn't be surprised if it
Yeah.
happened.
Which I kind of need to happen from my side of things.
Mm.
But
So the Patriots can get get handed an AFC Championship appearance.
that's what we have done this whole decade. So why
Yeah,
not
but
end it the
even
same
though
way
you're
we
not-
started it?
Even though you're not even going to win the AFC this year, I don't even think you guys are going to make it to the AFC Championship.
I
Yeah,
think
there's
your
definitely
team
a-
will make the playoffs.
Wow, clever.
And I said that like week 3.
Week 3, we were 3-0 in week 3.
So what are we talking about?
The NFL, the
Yeah.
crazy things that happened this last week.
Basically playoffs.
Playoffs.
So,
the Bengals clinched the first seed to pick the
Yeah.
draft.
Oh yeah.
in the Seahawks game, they lost both Chris Carson and then they lost TJ Procise. Their backup, Rashad Penny, already tore his ACL or something 2 weeks ago, so he's out. So they were down to some rookie guy that they signed from the practice squad after Rashad Penny got hurt, and he was listed as questionable. And so who'd they sign?
Robert Turbin.
Robert
Robert
Turbin, and
Turbin.
of course the Marshawn Lynch rumors are starting to gain some ground a little bit.
Marshawn said that he'd consider it.
They're in Seattle right now, trying to get the deal done. He already had his physical and everything, so
Yeah, it's like
But
really
they
gaining
do
steam.
need more than one running back regardless.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
So if they
exactly.
if they get Marshawn and Marshawn's old backup,
Getting the band back together.
Well, the sad thing about Chris Carson getting hurt is he was probably an underrated
Chris Carson's one of the most
Great
underrated
runner.
running backs in the NFL.
yeah, he actually has had a really good season.
and
So,
he's
yeah, very
part
much
of the
so.
reason that they're winning. Everybody say it's just Russell Wilson, but without Chris Carson, I don't think they'd be able to do anything either.
Yeah.
Which you saw in the game when they lost.
It's tough when you're a one-dimensional offense, and
although Jadeveon Clowney, when he's in freaking Levi Stadium, he's on some next level shit.
Well, that's why this Sunday is going to be a great game, hopefully.
well, it's in Seattle, so
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
So
therefore Jadeveon Clowney will be irrelevant,
That's
Yeah.
true.
just like he's kind of been all year.
What is
But-
that graphic?
it'll probably be
But yeah,
Oh my gosh!
narwhals.
Oh, Monday Night Football.
But the team they faced is the Arizona Cardinals, and they have breakout players this year that nobody's talking
we
about.
need to put some respect
Chandler
on Chandler
Jones.
Jones's name.
Chandler Jones has never been that.
No.
Fact.
He's just- He's always just kind of flew under the radar.
When he was in New England, he was part of a Super Bowl winning defense.
And now he's
Then
about to
he went
potentially
to
make the
the
sack.
Cardinals because Patriots wouldn't pay him, as is the usual narrative. And
I knew it.
the
Danielle
Cardinals have had terrible defenses, and Chandler Jones is still putting up numbers.
Oh, definitely.
We see all these good players that are normally produce, but haven't this year because they've been getting double team, triple team,
Right,
like Von Miller. And
Von Miller, Aaron
Aaron
You're
Donald.
gonna see
Donald.
Aaron Donald something like.
Yeah.
Khalil
Chandler
Mack
Jones
even,
comes out and is like, do it, I dare you.
Well, he's
Just
he's
shreds
not an
those.
example of a great player on a bad team. The dude's just a fucking beast, and nobody talks about.
Yeah,
Because he plays for the Cardinals. He's
Yeah.
not and it's not like he plays for a big market like New York or Dallas, where even if you are a bad football team, you can still get talked about.
Right.
So-
I don't hear about the Cardinals barely ever.
Well, right. I mean, I think you will in the future. I think that team's
Yeah.
going to be good for you in
Oh
the
yeah,
next
they're
couple
definitely
years.
building to be
Oh, without
the
a doubt.
next contender. Yeah.
You know who I think is underrated?
Who?
Zadarius Smith.
I knew you were gonna say. I knew you were gonna say that.
Wow.
Zadarius Smith is the most double team based on percentage edge rusher in the league, and he's second in the league in quarterback pressure percentage.
Interesting.
Aaron Donald.
True. Who gets triple teamed every play?
Yeah. And both Zadarius and Preston have both had more than 10 sacks.
Interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, the reason we brought up
Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones.
He might break the
because-
sack record.
Yeah, he might break Michael Strahan's sack record for most sacks in the season.
Because he's going up against the Rams O-line.
And he's at 19, which 19 already in itself.
Well-
like, we didn't talk about him once this year, and he has 19 sacks.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if we're being okay, I am going to bring this up though. I mean, yes, they are playing the Rams O line, but the Rams O line hasn't given up more than 3 sacks in the last 5 games. Our offensive line's actually been pretty solid, unfortunately, but it's a lost season, so if anything, it'd be kind of cool to see Chandler Jones do it. You know, I know I'll still watch the game, so it'd be kind of cool, I guess.
You're going to be conflicted. You're going to be like, score a touchdown. Oh, wait, Chandler Jones get a sack.
I really don't care. At this point, I don't really care what the Rams do at this point. It's just a lost year, but we'll bounce back. Hopefully.
Yes. I don't know. Oh, T. Sizzle got claimed by the Chiefs, which he is reporting.
Suggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was last night?
Yep.
But like he said when he first got cut, is he's not going to play for anybody else but Baltimore.
Plays for the Chiefs. Well, because the Chiefs are probably like, hey, you still have a chance to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I honestly,
can-
if I was T. Suggs, I wouldn't have gone. I would have been like, no, I want to end in Baltimore on their Super Bowl run.
Yeah, because I do think Baltimore, as I am now wearing the Lamar Jackson T-shirt. I am now
There you
officially
go.
on the Lamar
Monte Adams, too.
Big
So,
Trust hype train. But yeah,
Um,
it's I mean, I definitely think having Terrell Suggs there, that's going to be such a huge piece for that Kansas City defense. The
Yeah.
Kansas City defense that's been playing a lot better in the second half of the year.
They've been struggling with run defense, though.
Yeah, that's always been and I don't know if Terrell Suggs can fix that instantly, but when you have Patrick Mahomes, the biggest thing is for the Chiefs. Yeah, you might give up a lot of rushing yards, but if you can just hold them to 20-ish points, you're gonna have a good chance to win because you have this guy named Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him.
Sammy Watkins,
Tyreek Hill, right? But you have Patrick
Travis
Mahomes.
Kelce.
Anytime you have Patrick Mahomes, you're gonna have a good chance to win football games as long as you keep the score down, which they've been doing, and that's why the Chiefs have been playing really good football the last few weeks.
I saw this stat about the Chiefs defense. They're actually statistically they're the best defense in terms of over
right.
the last 5 weeks, but people are kind of taking it with a grain of salt because the teams that have played, because they held the Raiders to 9 points, then the next week they held the Patriots to 16, and then the last 2 weeks they held the Broncos and Bears to 3 apiece.
Right. No, that defense is playing bad. Obviously, Raiders could be a playoff team. Obviously, the Patriots are never. I mean, I understand they're having their struggles, but that's obviously the freaking Patriots. You can never sneeze on them. So they've been playing, and even earlier, in the last 5 games, even beyond that, they've seemed to be doing a better job of just keeping the score down, giving their team a chance to win. Prime example is against Minnesota without Patrick Mahomes. Their defense kind of won them that football game. I mean, I hate to bring up the Vikings, but I mean, just since they're on the TV, but that's valid. Just Vikings can't play the backup QBs.
That's the key. Next, in the playoffs.
Yeah. So
Start
really the Packers, if they were smart, they would have just started their
Oh,
backup.
Kyler Murray got it too.
He did.
Yeah.
Him.
Who else got hurt? There's a whole
The other Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne
Haskins. Sad days.
I
Yeah,
didn't get injured.
you didn't.
But what's his face? The old Packers quarterback.
Bradley.
Brett Hutley was in the game.
Wow.
He actually did pretty good
Good
for
stuff.
Arizona. I was surprised.
And that game was I guess
That's not.
a good
Oh, that's-
offensive game, you'd say. So
Well, hopefully Kyle's okay because he's a beast, and I hate to have him be an injury-prone quarterback.
right. Well, it's nice though that it happened the last 2 weeks of the season.
Right,
anyway.
exactly. And
So
they're already out of it anyway,
Yeah.
so we can just take the time. I wouldn't even if he can play, you obviously just sit
Right.
him.
Just let him rest up.
Just let him
all
rest.
offseason.
Get ready for the off season.
Oh, the other person that the Seahawks lost was their left tackle going around.
Yeah,
That's going to be
why it
huge.
was huge for him.
Yes, that's going to be a huge one, especially come playoff time. And you're going up against elite pass rushers like Cam Jordan, Daniil Hunter,
Nick
Darius
Bosa.
Smith, Nick Bosa. That's not going to be fun, especially for Russell Wilson, who already gets pressured enough.
right.
And on a team that's now on, a 3 or 2 game losing streak?
Yeah.
2-game losing streak, you never want to stumble into the playoffs. You want to get into the playoffs either at a good pace or off and run it. And the Seahawks right now are not. They're gonna like obviously they've already clinched, but they're about to stumble, especially if they lose to the Niners and enter the playoffs on a 3-game losing streak and have to travel. Like that's not gonna be good for Seattle.
And all three being divisional rivals, and
Yeah.
Rams, the Cardinals, and then the 49ers.
Yeah,
That'd
true.
be horrible.
It would, starting to get off the Seattle kind of height. Because I do think San Francisco is gonna beat Seattle. So I mean, I think it'll be a tough road for the Seahawks. We'll just have to wait and see. The NFC is still so wide open; it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens this week, especially since it's like the games that matter, and then there's the games that don't matter at all.
Right.
And those are probably the games that everybody will get to see. Like, there's crazy things that happen week 17 just because they're games that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, if the Vikings do win tonight, it literally means the week 17 or all the seeding in the NFC will be open besides the 4th seed because either the Eagles or the Cowboys would get it.
Man, that's just so crazy. It's just so
Yeah.
crazy how it's crazy. I saw this thing and it was like the Niners, the Packers. It was like the Niners, Packers, and Seahawks or whatever. It's like a stat that in a matter of like a few games they can go from being the 1 seed to the 6 seed.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Oh, and how much that sucked to go 12-4 or whatever.
And have be a 6 seed and not have. Oh, that'd be
That's
so.
actually
Yeah.
going to be an NFL first. Coincidentally, in the 100 years, this will be the first year a team with 12 or more wins will have the 6th seed.
That is just beyond insane.
Oh, yeah.
And then
that's why. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I know. I was just gonna make a joke, but and meanwhile, you have the crappy Eagles who are gonna host a playoff game.
Well, that's why I said with my playoff rules, I think they should get rid of the seeding aspect of it. You still get one team from every division, but the worst division leader could still get the 6th seed because.
And I would be 100% okay with that.
Yeah. I don't think anybody.
It's not fair that the Eagles should. Because we're assuming the Eagles are getting it.
Right. Yeah.
Like
They would have to. Which I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to have a meltdown against the Giants. I really wouldn't. But they've been playing it all. Carson Wentz has been balling. He's been so good these last few weeks. It's ridiculous. And he's working with nothing.
Yeah.
His best receiver right now is Greg Ward, who's a quarterback a couple years ago.
Yeah, they are on their 6th-string receiver as their number 1 guy.
And it's crazy because that's the thing with Philadelphia. Like Philadelphia hosts a playoff game and everyone's going to expect them to lose. I'm not going to rule them out right away because Carson Wentz is playing good football right now, and and if they win, they're going to enter the playoffs on a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, I think that's the worst thing you can do is rule them out at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule out Philadelphia. I'm not going to pick Philadelphia to win a playoff game, but I wouldn't be surprised if they can get on an interesting little run.
Right. It's definitely going to be fun to watch.
I'm so excited for the play. Even though the Rams aren't in, I'm still really excited for the playoffs.
Yeah, go Lamar Jackson.
Go Lamar, big trust.
That's all I care about.
I'm
Broncos
scared they're
out.
going to have a meltdown. Because they're on an 11-game winning streak.
Yeah, but see, when they're not starting all their starters, it's okay if they lose.
That's true.
Especially when they already
Like,
clinched
don't
the
get me
number
wrong,
1
don't get me
seed.
wrong. I still believe that the Ravens easily are going to walk to
Right.
the Super Bowl, but I'm scared that they will have a meltdown at some point.
Like,
Because the
maybe
Carolina
in the
Panthers,
Super Bowl?
Yeah, the Carolina Panthers did it the year they went 15-1.
I don't know. This Baltimore team is something else. This Baltimore team is playing with so much. I've never seen a team with this much confidence, but I've also never seen a team who believes in their quarterback this much.
True.
It's obviously it's oh yeah, we're behind our QB. No, they are behind Lamar. They got their back. They're giving him hype speeches that he's the MVP. I've never seen anything like this, and that's why I picked them to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to pick them to win the Super Bowl because their defense isn't outstanding, but they're just a solid defense. But they just play together, and it seems like a minor thing, but it's something that I have not seen in a football team in a long time.
Oh, yeah, well, that's playing as a team is huge, especially when you see teams in the beginning of the season. I'll use the Broncos for an example. The Broncos were not a team to start the season off, and look how they started off. They were horrible.
Yeah.
Their defense was didn't do anything. They couldn't score. And then once they started getting together and behind each other,
Yeah,
especially with this Drew Lock coming in.
exactly.
They're all hyped up on Drew Lock, and I think that's what you need
That's I mean,
in your team.
Yeah, if you just get everything else working, like winning cures all. That's obviously the big saying, and Baltimore has just been on an absolute tear, and they've never let anything derail them. Like because when they got blown out by Pittsburgh or by never mind, take 3 against Cleveland. That could have been like, okay, yep, this is the Lamar Jackson we're expecting. This is the Ravens team you're expecting. That's literally actually the opposite. They've won every game since.
Yeah, I think this shows the thing about when their quarterback, Cleveland,
Baker
Baker
Mayfield.
Mayfield, when he talks shit about Lamar's throwing ability, they've not lost since he's talked shit about Lamar.
And did you know that another record that's been broken? Lamar Jackson has actually thrown. He broke the single season record for most passing touchdowns by a Baltimore Ravens. Passing, yeah.
Passing, can you say passing?
Yes. Oh, well, actually, I'm not going to hold the mic because it'll get loud. Passing. Lamar Jackson has broke the passing touchdown record by a quarterback in a single season because he's a quarterback.
I still say
He is a quarterback.
I still say John Harbaugh should maybe consider picking up that old playbook that he made with the 2 quarterback set, just to see what would happen if you put Lamar at running back.
No, because that'd be the
everything.
No, Lamar's a
I'm
quarterback.
not saying they run that like every single play. I'm just saying.
Next week, you want him to run as running back, tears ACL,
And then Baltimore season is just straight
then
up
it goes
done.
to Patriots to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, that's why you want. You want the Patriots to have another cakewalk to the freaking Super Bowl.
They would lose.
Lamar Jackson didn't break the single season touchdown record.
What's that?
Lamar Jackson didn't break the single season touchdown record.
No, for the Baltimore Ravens franchise record.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, if I didn't clarify. No, sorry, if I didn't clarify that. The Baltimore Ravens single season
But
touchdown
to be fair,
record.
his only competition is like.
Oh, stop it!
Like-
No, I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting you. No.
It's not only Flacco.
No.
There's also.
Hey, Super Bowl winning
no.
Joe Flacco.
There's also Steve McNair.
Yeah, Steve McNair,
Not a
Joe
catch.
Flacco prior to his contract signing was a beast. Trent Dill for the year he won a Super Bowl was really solid.
That was on the field.
Proud of you, Peter.
But Brent, it's not even just like he doesn't have a lot of competition for that record,
No,
but he's
no,
also leading
no.
the NFL in touching
I know.
passes.
I'm not actually giving hate. I'm just like
Just bounce down.
Poor guy.
Lamar Jackson is going to be MVP this year. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I just have to cross my fingers and hope he gets injured. Unfortunately.
Oh, stop!
That's
no,
so mean.
That's so mean.
Like-
These Patriots fans, I tell you, they just wish bad upon everyone.
Well,
That's why they're the most hated team in the
Literally,
league.
if we don't make it to the Super Bowl, we're blowing up the team. Everybody's going to retire or just walk.
Well, all good things must come to an end, Brendan. So next thing. No,
Next
I'm
thing.
kidding.
Yeah, on to the next.
Yeah, on to the
thing.
next thing.
So the NHL does a thing every single year. Just
Winter
a
Classic.
just a fun little
It's in
thing, I guess.
chilly Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
I have no idea how this is going to work.
Well, they did it for LA a few years back. They just like hella cool down the temperature in the stadium. I mean, again, I don't.
Yeah. 'Cause they can do it.
Yeah,
Are they? What stadium are they actually playing?
they're playing in the Cotton Bowl. That's like the stadium they're playing in.
They don't.
It's an outside stadium.
Because they played it in a dome stadium. They can make it work.
Well, they made it work in LA. It was in an outdoor arena. They played at the Dodger Stadium.
It was funny. 2015, they did it in Washington, and they actually Washington had like a 40-degree day that day. So
Interesting.
they made it difficult because they were preparing for like a 20-degree day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Preds versus the Stars.
Yeah.
I have the Preds winning 6-2. I just think it's gonna be a fun game to watch.
Oh.
Just something to do. And yeah.
I have Dallas winning 3-2 because you never want to lose the Winter Classic. Dallas has been playing pretty solid this year. To be honest with you, my hockey knowledge has been a little piss poor this year, so I apologize for my lack of credibility. But I do know Dallas is a solid team, so
I'm going to piggyback off of that. So recently, the Predators have kind of been up and down.
I knew that too.
Against a lot of divisional games, they've lost. We saw them lose to the Blackhawks a month ago. I think the Wild even beat them. and a couple other teams like the Avalanche, stuff like that. So I think that as of right now, Preds aren't as good. Dallas is on a tear.
So
4-2 Dallas.
that's a formula for a dub.
But Winter Classic games can just get really weird at any given moment.
Yeah.
Because the sun's an issue.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that in hockey games. Like, they actually switch at the half point of the period. They switch sides if the sun's really bad. So that way the goalie doesn't have the sun in his face all day.
Speaking of weird things at the Winter Classic, I have my score. I think the Dallas Stars are going to win 14-8.
Okay.
What a football game.
Actually, though,
okay.
funny you say that. We did just have a 14-point game.
Really?
Not like one team scored 14 points, but between the two, they scored 14.
Well, I think between the two, they're going to score 22.
Jeez.
It can happen. I believe it.
It's got to happen.
That would probably be an NHL record for most goals in a game.
Hey, it might as well happen at the Winter Classic.
True.
There you go.
Making history.
What do you got, Ethan?
Yeah, what do you got?
I got the Preds winning 4-2.
Go
Good stuff,
Preds.
good stuff.
All right, and then the next we're going to our NBA Christmas matchups. We chose to do NBA Christmas because what do you do on
Christmas.
Christmas? After you open presents and talk to the family you don't want to talk to, you might as well watch some
I
basketball.
like half of the games this year. I like 3 out of the 6 this year. I
Well,
don't like
normally you don't watch all 6 games anyway, so I mean
Yeah.
you just gotta, yeah. But
The
my
first one's gonna
yeah.
be a good one. I mean,
the
I'm not gonna lie.
Celtics and the Raptors.
I guess it would be better if the Raptors were a little bit more healthy, but I mean, I
Right.
think it'll still be a fun game.
Yeah. Well, Toronto's been weathering the storm pretty well. They just had a 30-point comeback against the Dallas Mavericks.
I saw that
Yeah.
biggest in
But we're-
history.
Wasn't that still Luka Mavericks?
Yeah, but also the Raptors were without Pascal Siakam, a lot of their star. But the only guy that that was really playing, because Fred VanVleet was out too, the only guy that was really playing was Kyle Lowry. But he went off. He had like 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the Celtics at Raptors. I got the Raps winning 115 to 108.
The Raps? Do people actually call them the Raps?
I have no idea.
We're calling them that
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna call
Go
You heard it
Raps.
here first. I also have the Raptors winning 120 to 69.
it. Jesus.
I think
Nice.
they kill them.
What a score.
I'm gonna go completely off page for a second. Quick football fact from this last week: in the Chargers Raiders game,
Mhm.
the both teams had switched to silent counts because there were so little fans
Yeah.
I
in the
saw
audience that they were worried the other team could hear them. So they
Wow.
go to all silent counts
That is. Oh, no.
because it wasn't loud enough.
Move the Chargers back to San Diego.
What a
At
team,
least
right?
have fans there.
What a team.
What a team.
Actually,
Doing silent
they said
counts.
it was like the first time in 18 years that that's happened.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
it hasn't happened in a while.
If it's going to be any two teams, that's what I'd expect it to be, I guess. I got the Raptors score being 121 to 98. I just think the Raptors are the defending NBA champions, and they'll be better.
Kawhi-less NBA champion.
Who cares?
I think Boston is going to make more use of the guy that they signed this offseason, Mr. Kemba Walker. And I think Kemba's going to go off. I do think the Raptors are going to attempt to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So my final score is
What a
108
pass.
108 to 106.
Yeah.
That's fun to hear.
I like that.
Yeah. The Raptors are injury prone right now, and I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a little more known against the Celtics, who are one of the top teams not only in the Eastern Conference but in the NBA. The Raptors are still a top defensive unit in the league, so they'll keep it close. But I think the star players for the Celtics will show up on Christmas. It'll be a close one, I think. I got 112-107. Celtics get the Christmas dub.
Fun fact about the Celtics really quick too. Taco Falls per 36 minute stats is like 44 points and 22 rebounds.
Taco's amazing.
Legend.
Ooh,
Yeah,
he went on a tear, though, when he went into the game. He was amazing. MVP chance
I mean,
all over.
I mean, when you're 7'6" with like
Nope,
an
we're not
85
talking.
wingspan,
Nope,
I mean,
he went on a tear.
We don't talk about that.
He also tried dribbling the ball a couple times.
No,
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't want to talk about that
It
either.
when you're that tall, you fall right to the ground.
Brendan, what's your score?
You're so-
Oh, you already said it, sure?
Anyways, now on to our next game. This
Yeah.
is going to be the best game
I like this game a lot. So it's the Giannis Antetokounmpo Bucks against the Joel Embiid 76ers.
There's two
Oh, sorry.
brothers on the
Danios or whatever his name is.
I think it's like
Donis. Anyways, I got the Bucks winning 129-124. I think it's gonna be a really close matchup. I think Giannis is gonna get technical and stuff out of the game.
You think
Yeah.
he's
Giannis is gonna get a technical? That's so unlike him.
He's gonna get out of the game.
No, yeah, he's gonna get two technicals.
Oh my
to
God.
Get ejected from the game.
Yeah.
What?
And this is gonna cause the Sixers to have a chance, but the chance isn't gonna be
It's
good
funny
enough.
because the Sixers are more likely to have somebody.
No,
Right,
Joel.
exactly.
No, Joel's an angel. Come on,
Oh,
that whole team, angels. Bill Simmons gonna hit 2 threes.
he hunted lions, but he can't beat a cat.
Okay, whatever you want to say.
Anyways, yeah, I actually have this game going to overtime. I do have the Bucks winning in overtime, 134-130, but I think it will go to overtime.
Nice.
I think this is going to be a defensive game. We're seeing two of the top defensive teams in the NBA. Sixers are always a tough out at home. Interesting. Well, are we about to jinx it? We are not. But yeah, it's going to be a defensive game. I think Giannis will kind of just do his thing. I think Joel Embiid's going to have a good game. I think the Sixers have a lot of favorable defensive matchups in this basketball game. It's going to be just kind of a rough and tough basketball game. I do think the Sixers are going to take advantage of home court, though. I think it's going to be a 98-89 Sixers dub.
I also have both teams going under 100. I had the other way, though. I have the Bucks just edging out
Ooh,
the 76ers at the last second.
that is a
98-97.
that is a barn burner of a game.
Wow.
Hope it ends up like that.
That's me.
It is.
I was just double checking because there were a little bit of an injury bug that was floating around in the 76ers, but that should be passed come Christmas.
Yeah.
I still think Milwaukee's going to walk away with this win. I think Giannis is going to go off. He's going to be a Greek freak. And I think Embiid's going to get bitched a little bit because that's just kind of what
Bitch
happened.
talk.
And 112-101, Milwaukee
What a great score.
in regulation.
Our next game, I'm excited for this next game
Oh my
because
God.
my brother is a huge Warriors fan.
He's still
This
a
year
Warriors
he
fan?
hasn't talked about the Warriors,
That's fair.
but when we watched one game that they won, and he goes, and he's like, just wait till next year. Just wait till next year.
Honestly,
He's not wrong.
He's not
Wait till
wrong.
next year.
Honestly, no.
But I like this game because I think that it's going to be full of stat patters, and James Harden and Russell Westbrook just going to try to get as many points on Christmas as they can. I have
I
it
don't know
being
if I'd call James Harden Westbrook. Harden's just a fucking baller.
Right,
Dude can score.
But James Harden also shoots it how many times a game?
I think it's going to be 127-94 with the Rockets taking the victory.
I have the highest scoring game of everybody. I think the
Dang.
Rockets are going to win, and James Harden puts up 50 on Christmas.
Ooh.
Rockets win 150 to 120.
I have an absolute Christmas massacre. I have the Rockets winning 140-98.
Wow.
I just have the Rockets. Like Harden probably won't even play the fourth quarter in this game, to be honest. They'll be up by like 38 points, to be honest, and Harden's not going to play it.
Yeah, that's how I foresee it. So my score is 128-100, but the reason I have it even that close is because I literally think fourth quarter is just going to be straight backups. I think Harden's going to score 40 plus in 3 quarters because that's just what he does. The Warriors are an awful basketball team right now, and the Rockets are better than them. So 128-100, but a lot of that's going to be garbage time numbers for the Warriors. So
I have my score being 123-94 Houston. I feel like I don't really need to say much here because we all kind of have that same narrative.
yeah,
This next game here, I think this is
will
the
be the
best
best game
game.
of the
I'm excited to
if
watch
everyone's healthy. LeBron's got a little bit of. He should be back by Christmas. I think it's a minor injury, but still.
Oh, I'm sure he'll play on.
I think
This
he will.
Christmas. I have it being 119, 118, and I think the Clippers are going to get the overtime win.
Ooh.
Grr.
I think, yeah, everybody else.
Yeah, well,
I have the Lakers taking this one 121 to 109, just because, like, I don't know. At the beginning of the year, I kind of talked some shit about Anthony Davis and LeBron, but honestly, they are the most unstoppable duo in the NBA right now. Or just not even right now, just in general. Like, they fucking unstoppable. Especially if LeBron plays, obviously. Like, it's going to be a really good game. I don't care how much Kawhi and Paul George try. I mean, Anthony Davis is just going to be unstoppable in the paint. So I got the Lakers winning 121 to 109.
I have another high game for my team. I have the Lakers winning 145 to 123. I think, like you said, Anthony Davis and LeBron James are one of the best duos right now in the NBA, and they're going to pull a fuck ton of points on Christmas.
Yeah. If LeBron plays, which I assume he will, he's expected to play. I think he's going to show up. I think he's going to want to prove that this team is much different than when they played on opening day. I think LeBron is going to get a 40-point triple-double on Christmas.
wow.
LeBron is going to go off. He's going to establish why he is the king, why he is the best player on the planet, why he is the best player in LA. He's going to continue to establish that the Clippers are the baby brothers of Los Angeles.
Okay.
But it's going to be a close game. I have a double-digit win for the Lakers, but it's going to be a good contested game because both teams are just way too talented for it not to be. But I have 124-113. Lakers get a dub, and then they'll end their losing skid because they are on a 3-game losing streak. Fun fact. But they've also had injuries with Anthony Davis and LeBron, and they also had to play the Bucks, which is never fun.
And that Bucks you mentioned, Giannis put the crown on his head.
Yep, I saw that. That was pretty cool.
He's trying to tell LeBron that it's his time.
I'm gonna pump the brakes on it.
I 100% agree.
I mean, Luka's also in the league.
No, Giannis is still better than Luka.
The minute LeBron retires, it's Giannis's league, I think. But you're not the king yet. You have to wait your turn. Right now, it is still LeBron's turn. You can make a case for the throne. That is what he did against LeBron. So good for you, Giannis. But it's not your throne yet. That's all I gotta say about that.
Not to mention LeBron's nickname is literally the king.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just his nickname, anyways.
True.
Well, I think it is also going to be a very exciting game. But I am salty at Kawhi for not staying in Toronto. Just because he should have. I believe that he should have.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, I think the Lakers are going to come back from a 10-point deficit
Interesting.
in the fourth quarter, winning 110 to 109.
Yeah.
Lakers.
Our next game is going to be
This one I'm not so excited. I have no idea how
Easy.
the fuck the Pelicans got
Because
a
Zion was supposed to play because
Zion.
no, it's not gonna be. It wouldn't have been a good game, but like when they make the schedule, like okay, how can we get draw power? Let's throw some Zion in it because Zion's, but obviously he's not playing and they can't. This is the only like scheduled game that they can't flex, like to take teams out just because people make plans around these games. So it's gonna be a kind of a crappy matchup. Pelicans at Nuggets. I mean, I'll start. I have 108-89 Denver, just because they're a better basketball team and this Pelicans team is bad. So that's kind of all I got to say about that.
I got the Nuggets winning 107 and 93.
Yeah, it's not going to
Ingram probably dropped 40, but
I don't even think he'll do that. Denver's one of the best defense teams in the league.
I also think the Nuggets are winning. I have them winning 116 to 102. They put a little bit of fight.
I'll continue with that Nugget victory of 104 to 97.
I think that the Nuggets look like straight gold in comparison to
Ooh,
the Pelicans.
I like
I
that.
see what you're
Wow.
I love that.
But I randomly think they're just going to kind of stop trying second, like in the fourth quarter, but still win 103 to 98.
All right.
One thing about the NBA that I actually do just want to mention real quick is it's actually kind of fun this year. The East is finally competitive again.
It really is. You have a lot of teams that get it. Like, obviously, Milwaukee's going to lead the pack. You're going to have Boston, Miami surprising a lot of people this year. That's a solid team. Toronto, like I've said, if Toronto makes it back to the finals, I wouldn't bat an eye. I'm not predicting it to happen, but if it happened, I wouldn't think twice about it.
If it happens, come back to this podcast.
Exactly. And then, obviously, I don't consider the Sixers a threat, but they're still they still have Embiid and all that, so they'll be, they'll be whatever. But still, it's going to be really wide open. Pacers are no one to sneeze at. They are they're a very hardworking team. They just they play. They're kind of remind me of like the Spurs. They play so good fundamental basketball. They focus on the fundamentals. They play good defense, and they're doing it without Victor Oladipo.
Yeah,
so once he comes back, they're going to get their top scoring option back. But I think Victor Oladipo has kind of been a blessing in disguise because now we're seeing Malcolm Brogdon really come into his own and establishing himself. So yeah, don't sleep on the Pacers. But
It's crazy how much more competitive the East is this year than the West. Because almost every year it's, or at least since LeBron.
I would say that's what happens when LeBron leaves. There's parity, at least in the because last year it was very top heavy, but this year 1 through 6 I think have a legit shot to get to the finals.
Yeah.
Well, some more than others, but like I said, Pacers are a sneaky team that could make a run.
Well, they almost knocked LeBron's Cavaliers out that, 2 years ago?
Yeah, they pushed him to game 6 or they pushed him to game 7. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's true. Fun stuff.
After Christmas is over, the bowl season.
Yeah,
Everybody goes bowling.
the playoffs are this Saturday already.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast it comes. Especially after, everything happens around the end of the year, Christmas, right into New Year, and it always just everything hits you at once. And I think this is what these bowl games are doing. We got a ton of bowl games here. We'll start out with the Cheez-It Bowl just because Pat McAfee is the official
Spice car.
official guy for that. He's the greatest of all time. That's the only reason this bowl is on here is because Pat McAfee. He's hosting it, and there's Air Force versus Washington State. I have Air Force winning 28-21. I think it's going to be a pretty close matchup, but Air Force, they're in the military. I'm giving them the victory.
It's funny because I gave them the win too for like same reason as the Air Force. I'm not gonna go against the Air Force. I got them winning 35-21.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know much about Air Force, and I know very little about Washington State. I know Washington State's always been an air raid offense, and I know Air Force is run a lot of like weird option stuff. I just think Washington State's probably the better team. I think it's going to be kind of an ugly game. I have 36-13. Wazoo gets the win.
I also have Wazoo getting the win. I think their Air Force is going to do a lot of running, a lot of throwing. I think it's going to be funny for the Air Force.
It's
hilarious.
I know the irony.
I think it's going to be a fairly low-scoring game. I told them winning 20-14.
Do you guys know what all the other military branches call the Air Force?
What?
The Chair Force.
That's
So
hilarious.
Nobody laughed.
I'm not
Just
pointing
that out.
They call it.
Okay.
So I think WSU. I'm not kidding.
Keep going.
I think WSU is going to win actually the same exact score as Nova.
Wow.
Wow, it's like you copy and pasted.
I did.
Our next game we'll go to the Sugar Bowl because we want to save the big games for last. The Sugar Bowl is gonna be. It's a decent game, I guess. It's Georgia versus Baylor. I think it's gonna be a pretty decently close game. I have Baylor winning 28-24. After Georgia's big loss, the way they lost, of course it's been a couple weeks, so they could have whatever. But I think they're just gonna be, well, we're not winning anyways. So they're not gonna try as hard as they should be, and I think they'll lose.
Yeah, he really is. He's now tied for the league leading interceptions. That was a nice play too.
Wait, Aaron Rodgers got intercepted?
Yeah, he had the longest streak in the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. By a player that I didn't even know the name of 10 minutes ago? Oh my goodness. Let's get back to the bowl games.
Sorry,
Yeah, Georgia Baylor. Baylor. Ben Balor. Prince Devitt, he's back. Anyways.
Are we going to start calling the Baylor?
Sure.
The Baylor football team?
Keep going.
Anyways, I think I have Baylor winning. Yeah, I do have Baylor.
Go
I have
Baylor.
Baylor absolutely slaughtering Georgia, 49-14.
Oh my god.
What a
Slaughterhouse.
matchup.
So I think it's going to go the opposite way as you guys. I think that Georgia is going to win 26-17. They've had some shaky spots throughout the season, but I feel like they're going to go back to their bright areas.
I also have Georgia winning. I have Georgia winning a really close game, though. They win 31-30.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I have Georgia winning as well. I think Baylor has had kind of a letdown this year. Like, I feel like they're just kind of going to be drained going into this game because Matt Rule, head coach of Baylor, is probably going to be on his way out. He's probably going to get some NFL offers. He may even get the Dallas Cowboys job. So there's that. I think Baylor is just a little disappointed how the season ended. They had two really good chances to beat Oklahoma and whiffed on both times, blowing a 23 lead the first matchup, and that is a
22
touchdown for
touchdown.
Minnesota. That was a hell of a throw by Kirk.
Not
Holy
even mad it wasn't.
See, I love the
holy
Vikings winning the game
shit.
as long as it's not Adam Thielen getting the ball.
That was a fucking nice throw.
Yeah,
But anyway, so I think Georgia's just going to get back to their way. I think Baylor's going to be a little bit of a letdown. I just think Georgia's the better team. Jake Fromm's going to want to go out probably in his last football game.
Yeah.
So 32-20 Georgia gets the win.
Next, we'll travel over to the Rose Bowl. This game's always a game that I hear about, not necessarily because of the teams playing, just because of
It's the Rose Bowl.
the Rose Bowl and the parade and all of that goes on with it. It's Oregon versus Wisconsin. Badgers had a strong first half in their last matchup against Ohio, and Oregon put up a fight. I have Oregon winning 41-34. I think they're just the better football team.
Yeah, I got Oregon winning 28-17. Close game, but yeah.
I got the Ducks winning 30-30.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw everybody else pick the Oregon, so I picked Wisconsin. Just to be
Going with the
different.
Badgers.
25-24 Wisconsin.
Badgers beat Minnesota. Did you know that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have Oregon also winning. Oregon's defense has been playing some really solid football the last few weeks. They are, if I remember right, I think they're second in the Pac-12 in defense. So I think they're going to carry that into there. I think they're going to have a game plan for Jonathan Taylor to slow him down. I think Justin Herbert, same thing. This is going to be his last college game as he's going into the NFL draft. He has the potential to be a top 10 pick.
Right.
I have Oregon winning in kind of a low-scoring game because Wisconsin's defense can show up when they want to, but I think it's going to be 27-20. Oregon wins the Rose Bowl.
Next, we got the Gators in the Orange Bowl, and they're facing off against UVA. What a matchup, guys!
It's going to be it's going to be so bad.
What a matchup!
I had Florida winning 28-17 because it's the Orange Bowl and the colors are blue.
Whoa.
Mind-blowing, right?
I have Florida winning as well. Good memories of Florida include Tim Tebow, and so I always just go with Florida. 32-28.
I also went with Florida, and I have them winning 32-16.
Zowie Wowie.
Have a little bit more defense than you projected.
Defense.
I also picked Florida.
What?
Yeah, and I have winning 24-21.
Florida is significantly. Virginia is not a good football team. The only reason they're in this bowl game is because of qualification that they made it to the ACC championship, or else they would not be in this high profile of a bowl. Florida is going to literally sweep the floor with them. I have 38-17 Florida with the win.
Where do you guys want to go next? Cotton Bowl?
Cotton Bowl, yeah, and then we'll do the.
All right. So next we got Memphis. They're facing off against Penn State. Penn State had a chance there up until the end to actually make the playoffs. So I have it being 41-32. I think most of these games are going to be high scoring. And Penn State's going to take the victory.
I also have Penn State. I think they're going to. It's not even that hard of a game for Penn State, I don't think. I'm winning 45-28.
Nice.
I have somewhat of a blowout, actually, in this one. It's a high-scoring blowout. I got 42-28 Penn State.
Yeah, I think Penn State's going to pull away pretty easily and win 34-27.
Yeah. I think Penn State is going to win, but I think it's going to be close for a while. Penn State has not been playing their best football as of late. Memphis, these small schools who get the non-Power 5 qualification, they always put up a fight. Memphis's head coach Ryan Silverfield, he took a job at where did he take he took a job, I think Florida State. I think he took a job at.
That sounds right.
I think so. Yeah, Memphis head coach. He took the job at Florida State. He is a guy who likes to establish the pass, which is going to be good for Florida State. I can't remember the quarterback's name for Memphis, but I think he's like top 5 in the nation in passing yards, something like that, some insane number. I do think Penn State though will get the win. I have 31-20. I think it will be like a late second half or like fourth quarter surge by Penn State, but Memphis will make it fun. So Penn State wins what bowl's that? The Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl.
Now the big ones. Now the real ones, exactly.
Which one do you want to go? You want to have a party, or you want to?
Let's say the party bowl.
Because that'll probably be the closest game.
All right. So LSU versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma actually got 3 players just suspended as of 4 hours ago for the game. They have.
Was it for drugs?
I don't know.
Was it for solicitation?
Defensive lineman Ronnie Perkins, running back Stevenson, and then wide receiver Trajan Bridge
Was it for
are all.
Their suspension depends on if I can even have it. Because if it's like.
They did not offer much clarity.
Okay.
So
my guess is like a violation of
they're
team
probably
rules.
partying or something. Or not playing,
They
yeah.
didn't get their grades.
Right.
But yeah. I think that LSU is going to just take it, and Joe Burrow is going to have himself another great game. It's going to be 42-22. LSU's taking the easy victory here and marching on to the finals.
I think I have the highest score. I do. I have the highest score for this one, actually. I have LSU winning 49-28.
Wow.
31-point victory, or 21-point victory, sorry.
I think Joe Burrow is going to come out in this game and signify why the Bengals should probably pick him, even though the Bengals shouldn't take a quarterback. That's my personal opinion. But they're going to, because they're just going to be like, well, we're the new Browns, right?
I get. Well, no, the Browns might still be the Browns.
No, that's fair. But regardless, I have LSU winning 46-38.
God damn it.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts is still their quarterback, and yeah, they have the suspensions, but they're still going to have Jalen Hurts and CeeDee Lamb. Lincoln Riley is going to have a good offensive game plan against an LSU defense that has not been very good this year. But I don't think they have what it takes to slow down Joe Burrow and LSU, which has been one of the top. Well, I'm pretty sure they have been the top offense in the country. I have 45-30, so a little bit closer, but I just think LSU is just going to be too much for them. So LSU will advance to the Natty.
All right. It's time to have a party.
This is going to be oh my God, this is going to be such a good game.
The Fiesta Bowl is Ohio State versus
Ohio
Clemson.
State University.
They didn't get the trademark. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. So it's
Yeah,
just
Ohio
It's just
State.
Ohio State.
So it's just,
we can't
it's
say
just
the.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Fair.
But no, I think this is gonna be an amazing game. But I decided that Clemson's gonna go away with it in the fourth quarter. They're just gonna score a couple defensive touchdowns, get the ball back. Just go on and on. 45-28. I think Clemson's just the better defense, and so I think that's what defense wins championships. Defense is gonna win this game.
I picked the Ohio State to win this game. I think this is going to be a close one, but they're going to come back at the last second and win 43-41.
I think Clemson has always came into these bowls and always destroyed and has made it to the Nationals the past, 5 years?
They made the playoff every year since it started. Well, not every year. I think they missed it the first year, but
But they've always been a strong contender.
yeah.
I feel like they're not going to let this year break their streak. So I feel like they're going to win 34-29.
Yeah. My last one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I haven't gone yet, but you
Okay,
can go.
I'll go and then you go. Okay. I agree with Bennett. I have the Ohio State University winning 49-42. I have it as a close game, very high scoring, but one touchdown game, obviously.
Do you think that Chase Young in Ohio is going to let
Yes, Chase Young and the
Oh, man.
Ohio State University.
They lost the.
I don't care. I'm still going to call them the Ohio State University.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Clemson has been a team all year that has just been absolutely bored because they're above and beyond all of their opponents. Love that. They're above and beyond all their opponents, so they're bored. They are just basically all of it they're doing this year has been preparation for the playoff, and this is what they're made to do. This is what Dabo Swinney coaches his team to do, and I am not, for the life of me, am gonna pick against Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, if it wasn't for Joe Burrow, is still the best quarterback in the country.
Yeah.
So I think Clemson, in these situations, know what it takes. I mean, Ohio State does too, but Ryan Day doesn't. Urban Meyer does, but Ryan Day doesn't. So I think it's just going to come down to coaching, and I think the better coach wins. It's going to be 42-34. Clemson advances, so it's going to be Battle of the Tigers for me in the Natty.
Awesome.
So can you even say go Tigers?
Well, it depends. If you can either say go Tigers or go Tigers, because like go with the Geaux.
Yeah, I'm gonna just be saying go with the GA.
I'm going Geo. I think Clemson's taking it all this year.
Oh, I do too, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
probably. I just want LSU.
Well,
I want Clemson just so Derek can get mad.
But I want Derek to be happy. I want Derek to
I've been
be
talking
happy.
so much shit about it, so I actually kind of want Clemson to win just because it'd be funny.
any last comments for our Christmas episode besides Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Joyous Kwanzaa.
Joyous.
I'm going to say Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
I'll say happy
I
holidays to
celebrate-
appeal
I
to all of our
celebrate a little bit of
listeners.
Christmas and a lot of
Oh,
happy winter solstice.
Okay.
Solstice was actually 2 days ago.
Oh,
Yesterday.
Wow. Wow, you fancy. It's currently Christmas Eve's Eve, so
yes.
the Packers are currently losing to the Vikings 10-3, but that could easily change as the game goes on. We need Devontae Adams to have 300 yards and 7
You
touchdowns.
literally do need Thielen to outscore Thielen by 3 points.
That's right. I just need Adam Thielen to not get the ball. I want Stephon Diggs to get
This
4
is a PPR
touchdowns.
league, and
I want C.J. Ham to get 2 touchdowns.
I say damn.
But I want Devontae Adams. He needs to do good. He needs to eat the points like
He should
Christmas.
already have like almost 9 points.
Are we
That's
full
true.
PPR or are we half PPR? I thought we were
Full
half
PPR.
Oh,
We are?
Yeah, that's what the NFL switched to.
Oh, shit. Well, anyways,
Oh shit, you're right. Son of a bitch.
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
We'll see you next week. Next week, we'll actually talk about the decade and recap. And we'll go with our decade and all that because the decade will be ending. And we'll record on probably the last day of the decade or around the last of the decade. And you'll get this episode for 2020.
Yeah, you get one more episode recorded in the 2010.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Don't forget.
Welcome.
See you next decade.
Don't forget- Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And if you want to help us out, subscribe to our Patreon at SighSquadPod for all of that stuff. And have a great day. Bye.